Hi everyone, welcome to my crafty afternoon with me. My name's Lori. I do a few scrapbooking mini albums. I do journals from time to time. Basically paper crafting, anything that's pretty papers I like. So I have a hoard of pretty papers. I've been doing scrapbooking for probably over 25 years now, or right at 25 years. My oldest daughter's 24, so this year will be 25 years. So I have quite a few projects in the works, and most of the time I craft late at night when I get off of work. I work second shift, and so I said, why don't I just start shooting videos, because I like to watch people craft and see other people's ideas, how they use products, where products come from. And right now I'm going to apologize. I am really sorry about some of the products that I use, because some of them I didn't write down the Etsy shop that I got them from, like some of my journals, but I will go back through my history the best I can and see if I can't get those linked, whatever products that I try to use. And some of it is just, like I said, so old that I couldn't tell you where, when, or how I got it. It's just, if it's pretty paper, I buy it, and I work from time to time on them. I have degenerative disc. I also have rheumatoid and inflammatory arthritis, and at some times I may not put videos up due to my hands hurting so bad that I can't stand to touch them, much less hold a pair of scissors or anything else. So it's basically, some I don't really want to do it like a tutorial videos. I just want to do craft with me's and show my process and share my crafting with other crafty people, basically. So with that being said, I'm Lori, and welcome to my channel. Today it's, let's see, what is today's date? Oh, it is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. So I'm going to try to start to do a Easter folio book for my grandbaby. She's called Moonbeam. Hey Moonbeam, Meemaw loves you. So I got this paper pad pack at, of course, Hobby Lobby, Paper Studio, and sometimes, you know, they do their 40 off or 50 off paper packs or anything Paper Studio. So, you know, I go up there if they have pretty packs, and I'll buy them up. And it comes with stickers, letters, and some cutouts, ephemera, so-called. So this is what we're going to do. These are the papers that are involved in the paper pack. I don't know if you can see that good, but I thought it would be really pretty, and if there's a glare, I do apologize. So we're going to start with that today. This is the paper that is in the pack, and I thought it would be really pretty to put it on a pink background. So that's why I want to lay it a pink. And I'm sorry for any loud noises at the point. So I'm going to do, I think this would be really pretty on a pink background. And I was thinking about doing some inking. I think I'm going to do, see. I think I'm going to do shaded lilac. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I did a sample. I thought about doing, what was that? Rusty hinge, but it's a little too orange for me. I didn't really want to do vintage photo, so then I said, well, let's just keep it springy, and since it has a lot of purple in it, so I did a sample of the shaded lilac here, and I think that would be pretty with the pink. It'll set the papers off from the pink background. I think that would be really pretty. Like I said, it's just going to be, you know, like a little Basically, it's what is it? MaymayMadeIt Crafts. She did these folios a while back, and if I can figure out how to link her video where she actually did a true tutorial on how to cut and do it, I will give measurements as I cut them, but you know, like I said, it's not really a tutorial, so I'm saying that up front. So it's just this is my process. This is the paper pack I had, and I just wanted to start shooting craft videos. So I think that would be really pretty on the edge of all the paper to set it off from the pinks, because I want to, you know, it'd be purple and pink. Her favorite color is pink. So with this, I was like, well, I think that would be really good to set that apart. I think it's going to be pretty. I hope it will be anyways. So that's what I'm going to do for that. So we're going to set the papers aside for now. I may not get to decorating in this video, but this is just my process of, you know, the colors I picked, the reasons why, and what I'm doing with it. So I'm going to get my trimmer cord scoreboard. I probably should have had this because it's all in your face now. I believe this is we are memory keepers. Yeah. Back when they were known as We Are Memory Keepers, now I think they are We Are Memories, I think is what they changed it to. I'm not really sure on that, but like I've had this for a while. This is my favorite go-to for cutting, scoring, because it has it both here, and the measurements are really, really accurate. So basically one side of it, you can, you have the cutter here. So you have the cutter here on one side, and this is flat. So then you can flip this over, and always keep the knife at the top and close it. And if you'll see, now it has a butt to where you can butt the paper up against to use it as a scoreboard. So it's a all-in-one. So instead of having a cutter, a trimmer, a scorer, and all of that, it's an all-in-one package, and I use this a lot. This is my main cutting apparatus and scoreboard. Now, sometimes I will not use the little knife that goes with it, because as you can see, the tip on it is kind of wide, and so it makes the folds in your measurements, and if you see, it's a little flattened out where I did use it quite a bit. So it makes my my scores to be off, and the measurements aren't correct. So then when anyone who does scoring or crafting knows that when you do a score, and if you don't, and it's folded slightly off, your whole project, if you add so many papers, after a while could be anywhere from an 1/8 up to a 1/16, maybe even almost a 1/4 of an inch sometimes off, just depending on how many papers you put and how many folds. Hills and valleys. Okay, so I hope I make MayMay proud. Let's do that to start with. I wrote the scoring instructions for her 1-inch spine folio down. I've made a few of these in the past, and I just thought it would be cute because I don't have a whole lot of Easter papers per se. I have spring papers like flowers and this and that, but it's not really predominantly Easter. So that was the only paper pack I had that was mostly just Easter. Alright, so like I said, once again, please, this is not a tutorial, and I will give you the measurements, and I am going to say I copied and cut and pasted it from MaymayMadeIt Crafts. That's where you can find the real true tutorial from. She is great, awesome, and will explain step by step, even the least little slight corner that you need to cut to make things fit right. Love her. Alright, so on your first piece of paper, this is bubblegum pink. It is a Recollections paper. When they had a sale for Christmas or all their paper packs on Black Friday, I bought every paper pack color that they had. And I have since found a solids color kit off of Etsy where you can print any color. I have 200 colors that are solids with a color chart on there, and I will try my best to remember to link that. But if you, where you can print, I'm sorry for the racket, I'm trying to pull my color chart out for, so see, okay, Shabby Eyes Digital is where I got this, where the solids are. And I know it's got a little bit of a glare on it. Let me pull it out. So if you can see, this is the color chart, and it has the 200 colors. And I love this thing, especially for like doing digitals. You can take your paper, or like the main color of your paper, and hold it up to it and match the color. So like if you have scrapbooking paper, which, you know, most of the thinner paper that like you would get in a paper pad or the hot buys or whatever is always white on the back. So if you want to use it in a, excuse me, like a journal, and you don't want the white background, I hunted for a kit on Etsy that had the solid backgrounds. So then I would take my scrapbooking paper, put it in my printer, which is a Canon TS 9521C. It's known as the Crafter's companion, not companion, but the Crafter's printer. It prints 12 by 12 borderless papers, and it prints banners, and I print on pretty much anything. You can print on acetate, you can print on vellum, love printing vellum, anything like that. And I will try to link that in the description as well. Right now I don't know how to do that, so I'm going to get help from my youngest daughter, who just graduated with 4 degrees in graphic design, so I'm going to acquire her help. So anyways, so like on the back, when you do that, you can take and you can print out the color that best matches your color. So that's what I wanted for that. But if you do that, please make sure that you find one that has a color chart, because on my computer screen, sometimes when I see things that look pink, it looks bubblegum pink on the screen, when it printed, it was like a orange. And then if it was on my laptop screen, if it looked purple, and I was like, oh, that'll match, when printed out, it was like a pink. So do a true color chart. And like I said, again, this is from Chubby Eyes Digital. I'm sorry, so sorry. Chubby Eyes Digital. And that's where I got this from. All right, with that being said, I can go, if I need to, print any color now, just on a 65 pound, a 80 pound, or 110 pound white basic cardstock, turn it to any color that I want. So now I won't be buying a whole lot of colored cardstock. That's where I was going with all that yik yak. Okay. All right, so this is, once again, like I said, the 1-inch spine folio from MaymayMadeIt. And on your first piece of paper, it is going to be 8.5 by 11. You'll need 4 of those, 4 of the 8.5 by 11s, whatever color you would choose. Most of the time when I started out making these, I put it just on basic white or black cardstock, and then I took my design paper and cut it, you know, like a 1/4 of an inch shorter, and did that. So that's what I did. All right, so on this, your first score on your first page is going to be 2 1/4, and you're scoring on the 11-inch side. So you have 11 inch, so you go over 2 1/4 and score. Then you're going to go over to 8 1/4 and score, and then 9 1/4 and score. Okay, and we'll put that to the side. I'm going to go ahead and do all of my scoring first, and then we'll do the folding. Okay, and your second excuse me, your second page is also going to be scored exactly the same as your first. So your second page on your 11-inch side, you're going to go over and do 2 1/4 and score. You're going to go to 8 1/4 and score, and then 9 1/4 and score. And we'll lay that to the side. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. My dogwoods and Frankfurt prayers and all of that's blooming, so you know, I'm a little choked up at the moment. On your 3rd and 4th sheets, you're just going to go on your 11-inch side. You're going to go over to 5 1/2 and score. We'll lay that over to the side. And this is the 4th sheet on your 11-inch side. It's turned up on that side. That's why, if you'll notice, like when I flip it over, see, like on this side, it's kind of bowed up. It's just the way I stored it. And it's kind of got that natural bow on the ends. So I just turn it over to where it's laying flat up against my butt. Over here, the butt end. So that way it won't cause me to go from, like, I'm scoring at 5 1/2 or whatever, and it skips over halfway through the line. All right, so then on the 4th sheet of your 8 1/2 by 11 on the 11-inch side, you go to 5 1/2 and score. Now we're going to lay that over. So now I'm going to flip this over to my cutting apparatus side, and we're going to take the same color cardstock, just so it's matchy-matchy. And you're going to need a strip that is 8 1/2 tall by 1 1/2 inch wide. So we're going to go on, cut this on your 11-inch width side because it's 8 1/2 tall. So you're going to move it over to 1 1/2. I really wish this had a little bit more room on the other side for measurement, at least up to like maybe 2 or 3 inches. That would be really great, because sometimes it may shift on you from time to time. All right, so we're going to get it to 1 1/2, and what I do is I'll push it up against the butt at the top, and then I'll just go down and make sure that in my valley here at 1 1/2 inch is that it's even all the way up down to paper. I'll hold with both hands in the middle away from the cutter, and then I'll just bring it straight down. Okay, and this is a scrap for now. So we'll put it back in with our bubblegum pink paper pad. You can use it at, you know, later date for other scraps. So then I'm going to flip it back over to where I can score this piece, because this is going to be an attachment piece for one of those pieces that we did on the 5 1/2 inch score. All right, are we in view? Yes, good. All right, so we're going to put it up against the cutter, the score tab, and it's 1 1/2 inches. So you're going to just basically score this in half. So you're going to go to 3 1/4 and go down and score it, and it'll just be folded in half. All right, so at this point, that is all I need to do with the cutter. So I'm just going to set it to the side over here. And for some reason or another, wouldn't you know, the first video I'd actually decided to film crafting, my chair wants to have the squeakies. It hadn't been squeaking, or maybe I hadn't noticed it until I actually did a video, but now it wants to squeak squeak. Let's see, let's get a bone folder. Get a bone folder, and I'm going to get a paper glue spreader thingy bob, is what I call it. But it's basically like, so when you glue your paper down, especially with wet glue, it'll smooth it out like such. It'll smooth your glue out so you don't have bumps and uneven glue patches in your paper. Makes it for a better fit. All right, so that is all of our cuts. I can pick this up. Like I said, you don't have to excuse me sometimes because, like I said, I have issues with hands and thumbs and fingers not wanting to work. So what I do is I'll take and I'll massage the paper because this is 65 pound, and you don't want to just take and just fold it, and because it'll cause cracking on your bin. So I just take and just kind of massage it back and forth until it meets, and then I'll make sure that it meets, and I'll take my bone folder and run down it. All right, so this is going to be an attachment piece, and I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so we're going to pull our pre-scored papers that we just did. All right, this is going to be page 3 and page 4, the ones where we did at 5.5. We're just going to fold those in half. So I like to make sure that the ends are matched up. Because like I said, sometimes when you score, you know, depending on what kind of tool you use to make the score, even though it's scored, it's going to cause it to not meet. See how like that's just a little bit off over here? Even though we scored it at 5.5 all the way down the page, that score mark, it's going to make you be off just a hair. So I'll come back this way. And even if it is not perfect, then guess what? We got a cutter, we can cut it. And nobody will be the wiser. Okay. So we'll take and do this. Hold the ends and then come back this way with it. Trying our best to make sure that the ends are met. That one I didn't do too bad of a job on. Yay me. Alright, so then we'll do bone folder. Which a whole lot of times I don't really use a bone folder. And this is technically not a bone folder, but it is a bone folder. It's just the plastic one. It's not a true bone folder, because a true bone folder is really a bone. It's made out of bone, and it'll leave a white, if you ever use a real true bone folder and you use it on a colored paper, it'll leave a white strip on it. So that's why I chose to get the plastic one, because when you use it, it'll leave the strip down the paper. Or it has for me in the past. Maybe I did too much of a... So this here is our first one. So we're going to make sure that these sides meet up, because it'll make it a little wonky. And I actually like to take this one because it does a little more even. Okay, so that's the first one, where we did the 2 1/4 side. And then we came over and we did 8 1/4 here. And then we did 9 1/4 here for our 1-inch spine. Okay, so then I'm going to take and fold on the first, meet those edges up the best I can, smooth that down, and I'll take and come up, make those edges up, fold that down. So basically what we did is, on one side of this is going to be a flap in the middle, where you can attach one of these pages to, like this. Okay, and then on this side is going to be your 1-inch spine. So this will technically be in the middle of the page. Okay, or this will technically be your 1-inch spine here on one side. Okay, so then we're going to fold this, and I may have to refer to with my previous made 1-inch ones, just to make sure I don't lie to you and tell you how to do it the wrong way. But see how I'm just kind of popping that, relaxing it, and not just with the bone folder, because I don't want it to crack on me. So I'll fold it over and get it to meet up on a line with the sides, and I'll do it with my fingers at first, just to get it, you know, to get the paper relaxed so it doesn't crack. And then I'll come back in a little bit and do it with that. Okay. So now, all right. So this is going to be the outside cover. It goes this way, right? Nope, wrong. Hold on one second. Let me go get one of my previous made ones because I think I'm about to tell you wrong. I'm sorry about hitting the table there. My knee hit it. All right, so let's see. All right, so here's the flippy flap. That's the middle page. That's that. I'll do a walkthrough of this on a different video. Let me show you these. Okay, so let's see. How did we put this together? All right. So the 1 inch goes this way, like so. And this flap goes over here. And then this 1 inch gets glued here. Is that right? Well, you know what? I probably should have watched that video just a little bit closer, don't you think? Alrighty. Okay, I've got it turned wrong. My apologies. Okay, so this will be here. And this piece goes here. And that piece goes there, like that. So you see, like right here where the paper is? So I can tell that that piece goes there. And this is that. So then that's going to leave me with this sticking up in the middle. And yeah, there we go. So see, even if you have put one together and you watched the video and you forgot how it goes together after you slept on it, you can still look at it and kind of figure out, even with just the measurements, you can still figure out where it goes and how to put it together. Okay. Get my glue open. Is my glue glued together? Oh, come on. Tell me it's not messed up. Probably should have checked that before I turned the recorder on, wouldn't I? Alright, so now. So these are the first 2 pages. So you're going to take the one piece where it has the 1 inch side over here. We're going to take this and we're going to glue it here, like so. And you want to put it right up to the bend, but do not cover the score line. Okay. Now this piece you can leave it as a pocket flap. You can glue it on the sides here and use it as a pocket, but I think I'm just going to glue it flat and just cover it with paper, because this little strip here that we did is a page add-on, and so it will be tucked right here where the other score line is, and you're going to put it right up against it, so this piece rests in the middle of your spine, in the middle, like so. And then you will take your 2 pieces that we scored at 5 and a half, I'm sorry, and glue them to these pieces, and they will flip open either way. Okay. Now that I explained it, let's see if we can get it done. So I'm not used to crafting and talking. I'm usually really quiet. I'm just a quiet person. And most of the time, my crafting time is my alone time. It's my me time. So to be talking and crafting at the same time is kind of new to me. And I know I said straight out the gate that, hey, this is not going to be a tutorial. And look, here it's halfway turning into one. But like I said, I am no means of any sort of word professional at all. I saw this. I love to do crafting, and I kind of was like, hey, that looks like that would be fun to make. I got a lot of papers that I could do that with. So basically what I'm going to do is make sure that I don't get into the fold, because then that'll hinder it up and it won't fold right. And I'm just going to smooth this down. Making sure that I get any of that glue that seeps out into that fold, because when I fold it back this way, I don't want it to stick down to it. I'm just going to run it through here like this. We'll flip that back open. And see how we made a little flip there? So then one of these papers here that we folded in half, we'll glue to that on this side or this side, either way you want. And then it will flip out as well. Or you can glue it and make you a pocket, however you would like to do it. Alright, so I'm going to turn this over on the back. And I'll spread this glue out a little bit. As you see how it kind of started buckling. And all of these will be covered up with your decorative paper. And see, I did not do any cutting on this paper, and would you look at that right there? See, that end meets perfect, but this end right here is just a hair off. See that? So that's okay. We can trim that later on. This end meets pretty good. See, this is why I said I like to have one of these. Here's it'll spread the glue out so it won't winkle up. Okay. And then after we get these glued in, I know I'm doing a lot of flipping and flopping. That's one reason why I said I didn't want it to be a tutorial. Excuse my reach here. And I get some paper towel. That's one reason why I said I didn't want it to be called a tutorial. Just a scrap with me. Alright, so now when I got this piece, I'm going to take our 1.5 inch that we scored. So what was it that we scored it at? Alright, so the 1.5 inch was scored at 3/4, basically in half. And we're going to glue it right here in the middle. So you can glue it in the middle, but I try to put it a little more towards the other score lines so there's not a lot of bulk. And the way that Miss MayMay shows to do this is to glue it closer to this score line here, and then when you glue it down, it'll open up like this. And then when you glue your papers, you'll attach it to this side, and this side you'll attach like so, like this. So it'll fold out this way. But when you do your papers, you can fold it back and forth either way once the bin and the score gets worked. So it'll be like this, and then all the bulk of your paper will be held in this spine, is the reason why she said to do it that way. So that way you don't have a lot of bulk on the outside of it. And I thought this would be great too, if you didn't want to do a this 1 inch add-on piece here in the middle. Just you could do a page here and add your paper, and it'd be like this. But on this side, you could glue this down and cover it with a decorative paper, and then do you like a waterfall, you know, as many waterfall pieces as you could put here, because that's a 1-inch spine. It'll hold that, and it'll be great for that. So that was my thinking. I'm going to try one of those later on to see if I can get it to work. And I'm pretty sure it will, just because 1 inch is a lot of room, you know, when it comes to paper crafting. So when you do waterfalls, you have to account for, you know, the paper itself, if you do cardstock, and then if you add decorative paper on top of it, you'll have to account for that bulkiness. And then you want to account for the actual adding of the pictures to it for the bulky part. And sometimes I get carried away and I'm like, oh, that's going to be so pretty. Let's put a waterfall in there. And it's a 1/4 inch spine, and I add like 8 pieces for a waterfall. And it's bulky. So the book looks wonky. It looks fat. It's pretty, but you know, it's structurally is not sound is the point. So you don't want to add too much bulk to where you're just basically, it's just cardstock putting together. You know, and you don't want to add so much bulk that it's not going to be structurally sound. Sometimes I'll take and lay my paper towel over it, just because if it's a lighter colored paper and your glue, if you don't keep your hands extremely clean, it'll pick up any spots of whatever you have on your hand, and it'll share it with your paper. And this is actually the first time I've made one of these out of anything other than, like I said, like a white or a black cardstock. And I was like, well, this pink, cause you know, my little moonbeam, MayMay's baby, likes pink. It's her favorite color. So I said, well, let's do it in pink. So I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to stand it up. And I may have to trim just a little bit, but I don't think I will. You can, cause see, you have this room over here to play with. So if you don't get it exactly right up to that score or that fold, you're going to be fine, because you have this room on the back side here from your other score to play with. So if you have to, you know, you can scooch it back just a hair, which in layman's terms is 1/8 of an inch, and glue it down, and you still have room here to where it's not going to impede on your fold and your spine for the front, your front flap. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that glued on. So what I do is I'll fold this over, and I'll glue down the side here right at the fold. And let's see. And I got these Sugar Bell bottles because, like I said, I had, you know, just a regular glue bottle at one point in time, and I was like, that's really hard for me to squeeze, so it was causing my hands to hurt really, really bad. And so I said, and I was watching crafting videos one day, and someone came on, was talking praises about these Sugar Bell squeeze bottles and how easy they were to craft with. And I was like, well, I'm gonna see if I can't get them the next time I get to Michael's. So that's what I did, and they are really easy if you have issues with hand strength of any sort. They're really, really easy to use. So see, and we glued that there. And I'm working through this a little fast, and I know you can see like my glue is kind of wrinkled a little bit, but it's still wet at the moment. So, you know, that will dry, and it won't be bubbly or wrinkly. And so see, then you can fold this, and it folds that way, still folded. That was what I was looking for. And so then, even though where the seam is on this piece, you're going to cover that with your decorative paper, so it won't be noticeable. And then what I like to do is I like to take and fold back and forth this way with the paper and just ease it. Don't just fold it. Just kind of ease it down, because you're trying to get the fiber, excuse me, of the paper used to folding that way. Okay? So that way you can open it this way, you can fold it, flip it back this way, and then, you know, you can open this way. So, but the bulk of your paper is going to be housed on that 1-inch spine. So then when you glue this down, you'll have your paper, and it'll fold up like this. And you'll have the other piece on this flap. And then this will come around, and it'll meet it like that. That's what we're looking for. Alrighty, so I think I'm going to go ahead. I don't really want a pocket over here, I don't think. I'm trying to wonder if I would like to have another little flap there, just a single flap. Because, you know, we have this scrap over here. We can use it if we'd like. So I'm wondering if I want to just take and put one singular flap here on this side, because I still have, like, you know, I didn't put this all the way right on top. See, this is, you know, not following directions in the true tutorial part of why this is not a tutorial. Because mid-crafting, here I am flipping the script, changing it up. Because most of the time, this is either fixed as a pocket here or just glued straight down. Alright. I think with the paper pack that I have and the least amount of papers that I have, I think I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to glue it down. Thanks for letting me work through that. So I'm just going to glue this completely down. We're not going to pocket it up, which you can, and you can have little tucks in there. Which you know, when you're tucks, you can add more pictures or a few more pictures in there. That's, you know, a lot of times I'll leave it as a tuck, because you can always stick a couple pictures in there that, you know, that you didn't have room for. And this is why I say this would be great to just leave this middle flap piece out, and then you could do let's see, how many inches is this? 5.5. So I would do 4-inch by 5-inch, and you would have like 1/4 inch around, you know, as many as you can fit. Usually probably about 7 or 8, and have a waterfall here, and you would still have a flap over here. That would be really great to do that. I might do that later in a later video. So most of the time, anytime I glue on one side, I'll flip over and smooth out on the other side as well. Just because I want that glue to be spread out and hold all the corners and angles of the paper. Okay. Alright, so we have this little piece here. We're going to take our other piece that we cut, or not cut, scored, and we're going to glue it on this side, and it'll fold over in the middle like that and fold this way. I may not decorate in this video. I'll probably do a part 2 and decorate, because this video is going to be a bit long right now. And you may have heard my daughter ask my dog Snoop to come so he can go outside. I'm in my bedroom slash scrap room. I'm in my bedroom slash scrap room. I have a corner, well actually it's a corner in the whole side wall of my bedroom. I have a pretty good sized bedroom. It's an older house, so the rooms are all, you know, they are not square. There's no wall in this house that is square, even by any means stretch of the form square. But it's older houses where all the rooms were all squares or rectangles. It was not meant for functionality or flow of any kind. So every room in the house is square. And I think I just slid that off of there, and I sure did. It's okay, it's still wet. We can fix it. We can fix it. And no, I'm not using art glitter glue. Thank goodness, because if I was, that right there would have messed it. Because see, even though with art glitter glue, and I know a lot of crafters on YouTube and everywhere praises it, and you know, for what it is, you know, and it grabs really good, but once you see like that where I smoothed it out, it twisted. So like this was off by maybe 1/8 of an inch down here, and the whole page shifted. Had that been art glitter glue, I would not have been able to straighten that out, because it would have grabbed and stuck as soon as I smoothed it like that. It would have been stuck. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I use it's a humongous bottle that I got at Hobby Lobby for like 14 bucks. It's like an Elmer's school glue basically, and it works pretty good for my crafting. I got glue over here. We need to wipe that off, and I'm not going to worry about that because that'll be covered up with decorative paper. I just want to get it off there so it doesn't attach to itself. Now, over glue, I'm bad for that. Sometimes I'm heavy glued. But you know what? Once it dries, that paper's going to be stuck on there, and it ain't going nowhere. Okay, so there it is. There is MayMay's 1-inch folio. Let's see. So all your bulk and your weight is on that 1-inch spine in the back. And see how it said like right here that you have maybe, you know, maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch. So we're on this front piece, on the front flap, you can make you a pocket here, or you can add a single section, 5-inch here, and flap it out this way. I haven't done that yet, but I was thinking that mid-construction here. Okay, so there we go. And then back here on the back, if you want, you can add a pocket here. You can add pockets on either one of these pages. You know, it's up to you. Now the decoration part begins. This is the main construction, the base of it. And like, and then you want to put any kind of magnets. So what you would do on the front flap here is you would put magnets, and when it closes, it just pops up. So let me show you on this finished one. So like here and here, I have magnets. And then over here, I have magnets underneath the paper. So see, look. You hear the snap? And when you stand it up. But always when you put the magnets on, stand it up and square it up. So because once you put those magnets in there, and if your project isn't square, it's always going to be set off. So if you put it on and you pushed it, instead of standing it up to do it, and you did it like this and pushed it down, when you stand it up, that magnet is going to be off, and it's going to be wonky. It's not going to be square. So you always stand it up to make sure that it's square, and then tap your magnets down. And I do that with double-sided tape. So I'll take the magnet and put it on one side with stick it down with double-sided tape on one side, and put double-sided tape underneath it, and it sticks to this side. I'll show you that in the next video. So for now, that's our base build. This is part 1. Thank you guys for watching and crafting along with me today while I make my grandbaby a Easter folio for her Easter this year for her pictures. Thanks, you guys. Come back and see me and craft with me. Y'all have a good day.